Welcome, Mr. Forth. Thank you for agreeing to give me an interview on the topic of a brain-based learning environment. First, will you please tell us a little about yourself and your experience of being the most world-renowned brain-based theorist?
Nicole, thank you so much for having me here for a visit. A little about me. I am a self-employed brain-based learning consultant. I have over 10 years of experience in the classroom and over 15 years of experience of being a brain-based learning expert. I have traveled all over the U.S. and many other countries around the world offering teachers and principals suggestions of how to improve their learning environments. My big excitement, though, is being able to travel all over the world meeting children from all different backgrounds and cultures. My motivation is seeing children actively engaged and seeing the light bulb go off, as they capture new meanings.
Do you have a normal routine for coming up with strategies to provide teachers and principals?
Yes. Yes, it's a two-part thing, and even though it sounds pretty simple, I'll share it. I call it S&S time, shadowing and suggestion time. First shadowing. After I get called, the very first thing I do is shadow the teacher. There's no better way to see what a learning environment is exactly like than being there under normal circumstances. As far as suggestion time, after I shadow the teacher for several days, I write up an implementation plan and go over it thoroughly with the teacher. The teacher and I then come up with some strategies that will best work for them and their students. I listen to the feedback from teachers and the students of the implementations and make more changes if necessary. It's really my goal to ensure teacher and student satisfaction in the end.
Well, you shadowed me in my classroom the past 3 days. What suggestions do you have for me in my classroom environment?
Well, first, I would like to comment on the structure of your classroom. I like your classroom setup of cooperative learning groups with college team names. You also have a very colorful, print-rich environment that is directly related to the different materials you cover in your earth science class and the affirmation posters that encourage student learning. All of those things are good. I also like the student work that you have displayed all over the classroom. That's great. However, I do believe that you should probably add some green leaf or flowering plants. These additions will invigorate the learning environment. Live plants, they oxygenate the room and actually help contribute to optimal learning.
That is a wonderful idea. I never thought the addition of plants could have such a positive effect on the learning environment. I just thought they would look pretty.
Uh, yeah, a lot of people think that. Another suggestion that I have, though, is the need for novelty in your classroom. I can see how this classroom doesn't change much, and students pay attention to novelty. Some suggestions would be maybe to have class outdoors sometimes, change the student seats monthly, or even switch classrooms with a fellow teacher. Just remember, too much novelty can be distracting or stressful.
With changing the classroom arrangement, having students read from a different book, bringing or wearing props also add novelty to my classroom?
Sure, sure. Those are some other suggestions that would activate learning in the brains of students, definitely.
I always heard that incorporating music in the classroom is a way to promote creativity. Is that true?
It's true to a certain extent. I've found that playing classical music for about 10 minutes before completing tasks that require abstract spatial reasoning definitely can inspire some creativity.
Hmm. How about playing music during like a closing of a lesson while students complete their journal writing or reflections? Could that be beneficial or is it a little distracting?
Well, I guess, it depends on the student for the most part, but I would definitely say it would be more beneficial than distracting. Music allows some students to concentrate more.
Okay. Um,
Another improvement that I wanted to suggest was the sequence of your lesson and delivery methods. It is clear from what I saw that you prepare, right? But your lessons need to be a little bit more detailed. with planned questions that you will ask, and also try to anticipate some of the questions that your students may ask. You should also provide more differentiated instruction in your delivery and activities. When introducing a new topic, make sure you offer visual, auditory, and kinesthetic previews of the subject matter.
You mean like using mind maps, videos, field trips, and hands-on activities to enhance the lessons?
Exactly. Exactly. Those are some excellent examples. I know you may not be able to incorporate all of these strategies every day, but try as often as possible. This will ensure that students are being reached and not just the left brain learners.
Would having the students make skits, drawings of what they've learned, and writing stories good ways for my right brain learners to show what they have learned?
Oh, definitely. Those are very good ideas, Ms. Bellerice. One thing that you want to make sure that you do is to expose your students to different material long before it's officially introduced. This is called pre-exposure or priming.
How early should I expose my students to the material, and what are the best ways to expose the materials?
Oh, there are various forms. This can be done in any form, and it can actually be done hours to weeks in advance. This can be done very easily. I mean, even as simply as posting some ideas on a bulletin board. After introducing new materials, it would be beneficial to you and to the students to facilitate small group discussions, to generate questions, and make a meaning out of this new material.
Class discussions. It is difficult for me to get full class participation during these discussions. The students that actually share are the same ones who always share and answer questions. How can I encourage those that normally do not say anything to actually participate during these discussions?
Well, first let me assure you that your experience is not rare. I hear this a lot. Different ways that you can encourage participation is to incorporate rules and rituals such as class applause, special student award, and giving good notes home. This way students feel as though their ideas and thoughts are welcomed in the classroom, and they're not scared to come forward. But the last area that I wanted to comment on was differentiated instruction. A teacher must provide multiple options for the student to take in information, make sense of ideas, and express what they know.
Differentiated instruction sounds like a good opportunity for me to ensure students who are right brain learners to get a chance to learn and be assessed in ways they feel more comfortable with, while providing left brain learners the option of trying something new or just sticking with something a little more traditional, all at the same time.
Exactly. That is the main benefit of differentiated instruction. I know that all these new implementations and changes can be a little overwhelming at first, but it's all for a good cause. Your students will become more active participants and will enjoy learning. I know that it almost seems as though there's not enough time in the day, and teachers often don't get a chance to sit down and reflect, but before you proceed from one subject to another, be sure to get feedback on the lesson. What aspects of the material were confusing? What was especially helpful?
Would it be helpful to keep a learning log or a journal with all the information from the feedback?
Sure. By keeping a logbook, you can reinforce your own learning and make it a point to learn and improve each session that you conduct. Thank you so much, Nicole, for allowing me to come here and share my knowledge with you in brain-based learning. I'm open to any questions and concerns that you may have right now. I'd also like to invite everyone to stop by my website at http://stephenforth.com to view basic strategies for developing a brain-based learning environment and to see some success stories from my past clients.
Mr. Forth, I would like to thank you for giving your precious time to answer my questions and provide me with some strategies to improve my classroom learning environment.
Sure, no problem.
You have
Thanks
a wonderful day.
All right.
Thank you.